Okay? So I just want you to know that everything is being recorded from now on. So just keep
Be
in mind.
careful.
Exactly. Be careful. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that in advance. Okay. We have now muted everybody. So this is great. This is my opportunity. So we did just start. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of you who came now online to join this shir, this little, I would call it more words of chizuk than a shir. It's really an opportunity for us as a community to get together, to see one another online, to inspire one another, and to get words of chizuk. And that's the point of this call. We're going to do this every single day at 5 o'clock. Every single day, we're going to send out a new link so that this is an opportunity you could share it with other members of our Kehila that you'll be speaking to. This way, more and more people could join. It's not going to be long. It's just going to be really an opportunity for us to see one another and to get words of chizuk. So, as you know, we finished over Shabbos. We finished Sefer Shmos. If we were in Shul, we would be saying Chazak, Chazak, V'nitchazek, which is may we all have strength to start again. And right away, we're starting a new Sefer, Sefer Vayikra. And when we start Sefer Vayikra, the first pasuk, it already is puzzling, because when you look at the first pasuk, Vayikra El Moshe Vaydaber Hashem Elav Me'ol Moed Lemor. Normally, the first pasuk of any sefer sort of like encapsulates in it the entire sefer, the entire parasha. And here, Vayikra Hashem called to Moshe. It doesn't really say anything that encapsulates the details of what the sefer is going to be about. That's the first thing that struck me. The second thing that struck me is the little aleph in the first word. Vayikra is that Hashem called to Moshe. But there's a small aleph, which means that if you don't read the aleph, it's Vayikar. Now, what is Vayikra? So Rashi right away tells us that, just to put it into perspective, the word Vayikra is when you call out to a friend. Imagine you haven't seen somebody in a week or two, and you're walking on the street, and you see him across the street. You haven't seen him in a month. So you call him out by his name. You say, hey, John, how are you? Hey, Yankee, how's it going? The calling out of somebody by his name shows that there's a relationship between the two of you. That's exactly what Rashi says. It's like when Hashem called out to Avram Avinu. He said, Avram, Avraham. That's Vayikra Elav. There's a call of a connection. Rashi also quotes, that's the Malachim. Vikara zel ze ve'amar. They call out to one another. There's a connection by calling out to one another. But by Bilam Harasha, and this is what the Balaturim points out, by Bilam Harasha, it says Vayikar elav. Vayikar is the same lashon that we find by Amalek. It's milashon mikre. It was a coincidence. I happened to bump into them, right? Imagine you see somebody that you don't really know on the street, but you need to ask for directions. So you go up to him and you say, excuse me, can I have some directions? You're not even calling him by his name because you don't know his name. You just bumped into that person. So the difference between Vayikra and Vayikar, the word Vayikra means a relationship that one friend is calling to another. And Vayikar is the way Hashem turned to Bilam, that he sort of bumped into him. And says the Balaturim that Hashem wanted everyone to know that he has a warm relationship with Moshe Rabbeinu. So he said, let the first word be Vayikra. Moshe Rabbeinu was very humble. So he says, no, I wanted to say Vayikar without the word Aleph. What does that mean? Moshe Rabbeinu wants us to think that his relationship with Hashem is similar to the relationship of Bilam and Hashem. Is that really what he wants from us? And I was thinking that really Moshe Rabbeinu is trying to teach us a lesson here in 2020 during the coronavirus. What's the lesson that this speaks to us right now in the situation that we are in? And I think that Moshe Rabbeinu's relationship with Hashem started with Vayikar, and it grew into Vayikra. What does that mean? It started with bumping into Hashem, and then it grew into a warm relationship that he was the greatest Navi that ever lived. How did it start with the bumping into Hashem? The first time that Moshe Rabbeinu sort of meets Hashem is that he's walking in the desert, and then he sees this burning bush, and it's not being consumed. And he says, this is amazing. let me go over and see why doesn't the bush get consumed. And when he walks over, then he hears the heavenly voice, take off your shoes, this is a holy place. And then Moshe Rabbeinu begins that relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Mefarshim explain that that bush was burning in the desert for a long time. But Moshe Rabbeinu was the first one to open up his eyes. And when he bumps sort of into Hashem, he says, let me get close and see what is the message over here. What could I learn from my life, from this message that is being spoken? And because he walked over and he bumped sort of into Hashem, it was like by coincidence, and then he was able to build that long-term relationship with Hashem over time until he becomes the greatest Navi that ever lived. We too ourselves, we find ourselves in so many different opportunities in life where things are out of the ordinary. It might be a moment of inspiration. It might be something happened to us in our personal lives. It might be that something is happening around the world, which is happening right now. The question is, do we stop and recognize that we might have just bumped into Hashem over here? That Hashem is here. There's something going on over here. But what do we need to do? Like Moshe Rabbeinu, he was the first one who said, let me try to listen in. Let me try to see what I could learn from this moment that this bush is burning and not getting consumed. Let me try to understand, what is God saying when the whole world is going through this experience right now? And never in the history of mankind, there have been pandemics before in the history of mankind, but never in the history of mankind have we been so advanced in such a global economy, in such a global society, that when a pandemic breaks out, it spreads throughout the whole world in such a short amount of time. And therefore brings down the entire economic system of the whole entire world so quickly. So therefore, what we are living through right now is a very historic time. It's a historic time that we have technology to connect with one another like we're doing right now. But the question is, what is the message? Is this going to be, oh, this is a mikra? This is a vayikar. There was somebody who ate something and he got sick, and now it's spread from China, and then a few people traveled, and now we have to deal with it. And this is how the world keeps on going, and we just have to deal with it, and who is the fault, and what do we have to do? And we're just busy with what we need to do in order to survive, to get through this. Or is this an opportunity for us to stop and to think, Hashem is speaking to us over here. And when we realize that Hashem is speaking to us over here, so what does he want from us? And it's always a question about ourselves, because whenever we get a moment of inspiration, it can't be, oh, it's a moment of inspiration, and therefore I need to tell everybody else that they're doing something wrong. It's really an internal, we're all alone in our own homes, and we don't have anybody else that we could tell off or that we could tell them, this is what you need to do. We just pretty much have ourselves. What is it that we could strengthen in? How could we build a closer relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu while we're getting this inspiration? And that's really what happened to Moshe. Moshe's relationship with Hashem started with Vayikar, and then it ended up being Vayikra. Like the Baal HaTurim says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Moshe, I want you to write the Aleph. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, no, I don't want to write the Aleph. I want people to know that my relationship also started with just bumping into. It was a little bit of a coincidence. And then it built up into an Aleph. And that's why the Baal HaTurim says that Moshe Rabbeinu decided, I'm going to write a small Aleph. This way I am Mekayim what Hashem wants from me, but I'm also Mekayim the lesson that I want to do. And this is really what Moshe Rabbeinu's anava, his midah of modesty. He wanted to be very modest. You want to come join us? Okay. We have a little Talmud Chacham wanted to join us. Okay. Say wave hi to everybody here. And Moshe Rabbeinu.
Where's mommy?
Where's mommy's over there? Okay, this is what happens when mommy's listening in the other room, and then he wants to come see what it looks like from this screen. Moshe Rabbeinu is the symbol of modesty in this world. The symbol of modesty. Normally, when we think of somebody who's modest, we think of somebody who's like a little hunchback and a little bit shy, and he doesn't have self-confidence. But the Torah teaches us that modesty, the example of modesty, is actually Moshe Rabbeinu. Why is that the example of modesty? because Moshe Rabbeinu was rich, was smart, was strong. He had all of the gifts that anybody who might be haughty might have. But what he realized is that these are all gifts from Hashem. When a person realizes that what he has is a gift from Hashem, that is what modesty is. And that's what this time period is all about. This time period is about recognizing our gifts. We each and every one of us has unique gifts, recognizing our gifts, recognizing that they're gifts from Hashem, and therefore we have to use those gifts to glorify Hashem's name. This is, for me, I'm going to try every single day to take out a moment or a snippet of Chizuk. For me, the Chizuk from the first word of the Parsha was recognizing that the relationship with Hashem Moshe Rabbeinu did not become Moshe Rabbeinu overnight. We can't just write an art scroll book for every Adam Gadol and say, oh, he was born a Gadol and he was born a Tzaddik. Each and every one of us, at every level, at every stage of our life, at every age of our life, when we feel we are bumping into Hashem, that we have an opportunity to recognize Hashem, and we see that something is out of the ordinary, let's seize that moment like Moshe Rabbeinu. Let's look closer. Let's be willing to go towards that burning bush. Let's try to look inside our neshama, which is a chelik of our Hashem inside of us, and to see what does Hashem want for me personally, and then we will be zochet to have that stronger relationship with Hashem ourselves as well. It doesn't start by just becoming a Navi, but we each have an opportunity to see Hashem. We'll each have an opportunity maybe to see the coming of Mashiach when all of this is behind us. I don't know. I don't want to overplay the Mashiach card. There were times in history where people were so excited about, oh, Mashiach, and then if maybe it didn't come, it was a chance of falling down in Emunah that happened in the years Tach and Tat, which the Sfarim brought down, whereas Man Bezos Yavo Aaron El HaKodesh, it was Mesugel for Mashiach, and there were people who were misupik in their Emunah, but we have a mitzvah midoraisa to believe that Mashiach is going to come. We have a mitzvah, one of our principles of faith is to believe that Mashiach can come any day. Definitely when times are extraordinary, it's an opportunity for us to see a little bit of Hashem in our lives and hopefully build that stronger relationship with Hashem going forward. I'm going to now unmute us and give an opportunity. I would love to, if anybody wants to stay on the line, if anybody wants to say some words of chizuk for people on the line, and to discuss it. This is a great opportunity. We're going to stay on the line for a few more minutes. But I hope that these are moments of chizuk for all of us. We're going to try to do it every single day, just a short Dvar Torah, so that we could be mechazik one another and that we could see one another, because each and every one of us is pretty much confined to their own home. This is an opportunity for everyone to see one another and to schmooze. And I want to give a big shout out to my wife who's on the line over here.
Rabbi Goldwick, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Miss. Yes.
Okay, I just want to wish you all good health, and I'm in Beit El, so I'm not in Jerusalem with the rest of you.
Okay, Madeline, it's great to see you online, and Hatzlacha Rabbah in Beit El.
Yes, I have a son, and that's where I am.
Okay, amazing. Mark, are there any announcements for our Shul members while they're on?
Yeah, I'm putting together a document right now about all the programming that we're going to have coming up. I've talked to Rabbi Wein. He's going to do the Shabbat HaGadol Shul next Thursday. I talked to Charlie and Cindy Katz. They want to do a musical thing, a musical program, and other programs. Ellie's doing Talmud and Technicolor on Monday, each Monday. So all this we're going to put that in a document and distribute it to the entire shul, so you know what's coming, when, et cetera, et cetera.
Amazing.
Rabbi Goldwick.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yes.
You use the word mikveh. It's mem kuf reish hey. If you mix up the letters, you get Rachmei Hashem.
Rachmei Hashem. That's right.
No coincidences.
That's right. No coincidences in our life. 100%. Rachmei Hashem. We believe that all of this is Rachmei Hashem. We need to find it. Maybe throughout the coming days, we'll try to give different. I've been finding different Mekoros in Chazal for you. There's a Tosefta and Tainus that I just saw. There's a lot of different Makoros in Chazal that speak about what's going on right now at the end of days. Only when they comes do you look back and you realize what are the Chachamim talking about when they speak about it. It's pretty amazing stuff going on.
I just wanted to say that this really gives us, the women gives us an opportunity to listen to Torah as we clean, because there's so much Torah out there online. Our cell phones, we could access it. It's amazing. I'm having I've never learned so much. It's amazing.
Yes. There's so many great websites out there. Torah Anytime is a great website. YU Torah is a great website. There's a lot of H.com.
The OU also has.
OU, that's right. There's a lot of great resources. And now this past week, it's just like getting boosted up much more to a much higher level because everything is going digital in the Jewish world because every single shul around the world is pretty much shut down. So there are more and more things going digital. Also, Rabbi Wein is going to be giving his Shabbos Gadol Drasha more live. I'm going to try to record maybe a shiur and to send it out. We're going to send out some short Divrei Torah. We're going to have this daily moments of Chizuk and meeting. And I'm super excited about it.
Daily.
Yes, we're going to do it daily at 5 o'clock, every single day at 5 o'clock.
Okay, thank you very much. It's
Sure.
great.
At 6 o'clock tonight.
Oh, Rebbetzin, Ariella, thank you so much. I just want to give a shout out to my wife, Ariella, that without her, I would not be able to do anything during this time period.
Not much.
You're the best.
It's so nice to see all, and I hope everybody stays well.
You guys too.
Everybody.
Tonight is from
As I
6
say, at
to
6
9.
o'clock tonight, between 6 and 9, Israel time is a 3-hour program which is being shown worldwide from a Torah Anytime.
Yes.
You go to TorahAnytime.com and it will be right there.
Yeah, Mark, maybe I'll email that to you. It's a lot of my colleagues and my friends are on that program, the Torah Anytime program. It's going to be a live broadcast of Rav Moshe Weinberger, Rav Daniel Katz, Charlie Harari, Yemima Mizrahi. It's like 3 women and 4 men, all the top lecturers in the Jewish world. It's all going to be live on TorahAnytime.com.
Is that live or is that?
Yeah, it's going to be live between 6 and 9 o'clock. 3 hours straight of like.
When is it again?
The link, please.
I'll send you a flyer and you can send it out to the shul.
Okay. Okay, will do.
Okay. Excellent.
Rabbi Goldberg,
Yes.
it's Adele.
Yes.
Will you be open to Pesach Shilas as well?
Yes.
Because I think
I'm gonna. Yes, 100%. I'm gonna put out a little bit of like some question and answers that might be popular question and answers of doing Pesach alone or Rosh Chodesh davening alone and a lot of things like that. But if there are any shilas when in reference to Pesach or in reference to anything, you could definitely send me an email or give me a call. During the day, it's hard with all the kids around, but you could send me a WhatsApp, an email, or give me a call. 100%. And we're available around the clock for you guys.
Rabbi Goldberg.
Yes.
Yes, hi. I had a thought. It's not a spiritual thought, but we always felt we were spending too much time on devices, online, and now that's all we have.
That's right.
I was wondering whether this is an opportunity to get an appreciation for what we're missing.
Yes, 100%. 100%. We're slowing down in a certain way from our normal race of life, and our only means of communication is through the device. I think the devices that we have are a tool, and like any tool could be misused or used appropriately. A power tool could be used to destroy or could be used to build. the more powerful a tool is, the more damage it does when you misuse it. Like electricity, a little bit of electricity is good and it could buzz you and give you a little shock. A lot of electricity could be bad. These tools, we've been misusing them. Now everyone is forced to use them just to communicate.
Anytime,
This is what it was meant for. We're not meant to be on it scrolling all day. We're meant to just use it. We're supposed to like be internally with our families and what's really important, and to use it just to connect. And in fact, on Shabbos, what made the Jewish people different this Shabbos than any other Shabbos and than any other place, we're very much a communal type of people. But on this past Shabbos, we weren't even able to communicate via the computer. So it was a whole different, the computers are a good tool, and I think this time period is teaching us to use it properly. Okay, if anybody didn't daven mincha yet, this is the time for mincha. I'm seeing Moshe Lashinsky is giving me a sign over there on the computer, telling me that it's time to do it. Oh,
not for us. Unless we need it.
Okay, I see that there is a notification that I need to sign off over here. I think we're running out of our time.
I was only giving you 40 minutes or less. Maybe it was on there.
Last time he was
Is the call still on? I think it's still on. Okay, great. So it's still on. Okay, friends.